everyone. Treasure Troller here. I should say good morning, all you semi-fascists out there. From the partially mask-wearing militant state of Michigan, where we have a governor/dictator for the next 4 years. Got a couple of things today. A couple of points to ponder. And then we'll talk a little bit about the comment that I got on my last vlog about Coach Rich Rodriguez. So the first thing is, we're gonna take a couple of subjects here and we're gonna push the envelope and watch it bend, so to speak. The first one is Alyssa Milano. I mean, this in some ways it's either a fake post or it's bless her heart. It's the only thing you can say. But here's what she posted on Twitter. She was turning in her electric vehicle, her Tesla, and she bought a Volkswagen because of the white supremacy angle and the racist white supremacy angle of the Tesla and Elon Musk. Of course, she forgets that Elon Musk is an African American. Or he is a true, African. And of course, the whole Volkswagen made in Germany thing. And no white supremacy there, though, could be insinuated with that. So that sort of brings up 2 points. The first one is on the lighter side of things, although a lot of people are debating when Volkswagen started. It started after World War II. It started before World War II. See, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. See, the facts don't matter anymore. It's the association. And the perfect example is this picture of a 14-year-old Jerry Jones watching his school become segregated or desegregated, and people wanting to make a big issue out of Jerry Jones in the frame of this picture as this all went down. He wasn't doing anything other than being a bystander to what was happening. But see, that's all it took. It was the insinuation, just the tiny little fiber that connects you to an event or connects you to an issue. That's all that matters. The facts don't matter. So it doesn't matter when Volkswagen started, because all you Jerry Jones hating jabronis out there want to make him a racist when he was 14 years old because he watched this go down. But the real thing about this is that everybody is missing, and you'll only get it from Treasure Troller, is that any car salesman that can convince someone to turn their Tesla in because of all these racial and hate things and convince them to buy a Volkswagen, that is the best fucking car salesman in the world. No one is giving the car salesman any kind of credit. And that's what I want to do. So major props to that car salesman. Yes, sir. We give credit where credit is due. So the next thing is, sticking along the football lines before we we get into the not response to the comments, but I'm wondering with the Ohio State-Michigan game, I shouldn't say, I'm sorry I said it, I'm going to have to do 10 push-ups. Michigan and the Team South, with the Michigan win, I'm wondering how this affects the NIL deals. I mean, we all know that Harbaugh got a nice raise. Do the Michigan players that are getting NIL deals get a little bit of incentive cash as well? And how about if you're being heavily recruited by the Team South? Does this mean that they're going to have to pony up a little bit more money to get you there? They need better players. You know, we could use a good secondary, more good secondary players, a couple of 5-star secondary players. Does that mean that your NIL deal got a little bit sweeter? So I'd really like to see one of these people that actually earn a living reporting on sports talk about the economics of the NIL deals in relation to major wins like this one. That would be interesting. That would be better than them divulging, coaches' bonuses for victories. So the third and final thing on the list is I got a comment after the last vlog, and that was related to Rich Rodriguez and his brief tenure at the University of Michigan. And I was talking about a little bit some of the one of the issues that Rich Rod had, and they sort of made a comment about being a little bit short-sighted because of the run-on sentence comment, and also suggested I read a book, 3 and Out, which was kind of interesting because I wanted to do a vlog before this one. The next vlog I was actually going to do was sort of a book series review on some that I've been reading by Ken Fite. It's going to give you sort of a little bit of a midterm exam on those. But I did purchase the 3 and Out book. So what I wanted to say before I finish reading the book, I've read just a couple of chapters in it so far. It really interfered with my Ken Fite books. So, and I wanted to say this before I got too far into the book, because the last thing I wanted to do was I've made a statement about the run, and the run-on sentence thing is a perfect example. I wanted to sort of put my personal opinion out there before I read the book, and then be able to sort of tailor my comments based on the book. And I see it a lot happening. I've mentioned it before. I watch or listen to the Hard Bastard vlogs or YouTube channel, and the thing that always they have make fun of or they catch is and the one guy that comes to mind is David Pakman. And I never watch him. The only time I see him is when Hard Bastard is doing clips on him, and he'll say something, and then someone will make a comment to him that proves him completely wrong, but then it'll be like on someone will leave a voicemail, and then David Pakman will play dumb, like, oh yeah, don't really quite know what they're trying to get at here, or he'll sort of rephrase the question so that it continues to prove David Pakman right. And I didn't want to do that. And I feel a little bit that way with, the run-on sentence thing where, but anyways, I'm sort of going to give you a couple of things, my personal opinion, or things that I had heard from particular individuals, and then I'll leave it at that, and then I'll read the book. So the first thing was the run-on sentence came from someone in the administrative side at the University of Michigan. And I really think that, although it's a broad thing to say, fit more into the culture, the alumni type culture. So I thought there was a bit of a culture issue there, because like I said before, he wasn't the type of individual that they would like to see representing their program. There was a culture thing. I also had a chance to talk to some players that were there for Cars last year and into Rich Rod's first year, and they were finished after Rich Rod's first year. They were done with their playing, and I asked them, although they didn't get real specific, and I didn't ask them anything specific, but I did ask them when they knew Rich Rod had a problem at Michigan, and they said day one. And then I talked to a couple other players that were there for a little bit longer through Rich Rod's stay, and I sort of got the same type of answer. So that's where my opinion came from. And I do have a couple of other personal type things where, a lot of the fans wanting the spread offense, they want the spread offense, but they want to see results right away. So I think, because this was really the first time Michigan had gone through sort of a coaching transition like this, they're not a very patient group. So they weren't willing to wait, and I really think to run that type of offense, Michigan's roster at the time Rich Rod took over was not suited to run the RPO offense. And I'm just not talking about a dual threat quarterback or an option type quarterback. I think the offensive linemen as well were not built for an RPO offense. So I wanted to say that before I got into the book, and then tried to rationalize or justify some of the things I have, my personal opinion, and then try to make it sound like I was right. So those are the things that I'm basing my reasoning on why Rich Rod had issues. I don't know. Like I said, I just started the book, and he's made reference. The commenter had made references to Lloyd Carr. I know nothing about Lloyd Carr, and I guess you could say people, his sort of personality. I don't know anything about him. As far as the coaching tree that they put in there, where Bull came from Woody, and Rich Rod grew up sort of in the same area as Fielding Yost, but Fielding Yost retired, and he was retired from Michigan before Rich Rod was even born. So I can even give you a closer I can give you even a closer analogy than that one. I mean, we can take the camera over right now and show you that. But I mean, nepotism in college football and coaching, even in the pros, is, I don't know if nepotized is a word, but it is the most nepotized profession there is out there. I think you could probably do a 6 degrees of Bo Schembechler and name any coach and connect that coach with Bo Schembechler. It's not, I don't find it that impressive. It's more common than it is impressive. I mean, if it wasn't for Bo Schembechler, there probably wouldn't have been the coach Harbaughs, because their dad coached with Harbaugh. You have Les Miles. You have, I want to say McCartney, but I'm not sure about McCartney. But I mean, the best, and you'll never convince me otherwise, the best college defensive coordinator in the history of the game, who just recently retired from Northwestern, was a player at the University of Michigan, was a graduate assistant at the University of Michigan, coached with the Harbaughs, went to Colorado and won a national championship underneath McCartney. Should have got the head coaching job when McCartney left, but they gave it to, babyface Neuheisel. But then he went on to, he coached at Texas A&M, at Kansas, Arizona, ended his career at Northwestern. So anybody that's coached under him can be traced back to Bo Schembechler. Not that unusual, not that impressive. So, and then that's it. This is way, way, way too long. So I guess we'll get to the Ken Fight book review sometime later. So this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.